Cool. I think we are live. So I'm just waiting for Sam or one of the champions to confirm. I think we are. Yes. Yes, cool. Awesome. Thanks everyone for joining us on a new behind the scenes event. So today we have our new member on board, Aventus. Hey Alan, thanks for joining.
Hey Daniel, thanks for having me here.
Can you briefly introduce yourself to everyone?
Sure, I am the founder and CEO of Aventus. We're all about onboarding enterprises to Web3.
That's awesome. So yeah, Ellen, I just want to dive into the questions right away because we have a bunch of them. Um, what are you guys doing? What is Aventus?
Yeah, so Aventus is the mission is to onboard enterprises to Web3. Now, what we have found is most enterprises don't care about the technology, they care about the solution, they care about the use case, right? That's why we're super excited
Correct.
to be working with you guys because you have such an amazing use case. Now, our product is a suite of tools to enable that transition very seamlessly. So we call it block space, essentially tailored use case specific space on the blockchain. Now, this is
So
often across multiple blockchains, and it has all of the stuff that may be considered boring, but the stuff that's needed to make this enterprise great. So that's enterprise key management, that's redundancy, disaster recovery, different bolt-ons for retrieving data, accessing data, indexing it, performing load balancing. So all of those kind of tools we've wrapped up as an infrastructure suite, and we can kind of plug and play those products to help deliver a wide variety of use cases, currently primarily across supply chain, loyalty, and well, now energy.
so Ellen, what is block space? I just got a question here. What is block space? Is that the blockchain?
Well, block space is more abstract than a blockchain, right? It's space on a blockchain, but it's got certain technical requirements. So a client will come to us and say, we need this level of throughput, we need to talk to these different blockchains, we need to get it confirmed within a second. And then we will put together a solution of different networks talking to each other, some permissions, some public, whatever the structure is that's needed to deliver those technical requirements. So it's space on the blockchain that has those requirements. And then we have different blockchains we help instantiate. One of them is our own blockchain called the Aventus network, which was a layer 2 on Ethereum and now a Polkadot parachain. But we have various other instances of these networks, each of which providing block space tailored to client needs.
Awesome. And tell me a little bit more about your clients because what I have seen also in our community is I saw some Wolf of Wall Street NFTs ongoing. Can you tell us a
Yes,
little bit
so
more about that?
yeah, so within the loyalty branch of our product suite, we consider NFTs to be a loyalty product, right? It's about driving fan engagement and stickiness. So we have done a deal with the inventory rights holders for the Wolf of Wall Street film, and we're rolling out what we're calling the Wolf of Wall Street experience, a celebration of the intellectual property. This year is the 10-year anniversary of the film. So we're kind of reviving it. We're creating a community-driven strategy where everybody can get involved and help decide how we can celebrate the IP. So there's 200 hours worth of footage. There's props, there's memorabilia, all kinds of stuff. And there'll be different events and gamified metaverse experiences for people to get involved in.
So how can they get involved? What is so let's say someone is interested. Where can they find this? And how can
So
they
there's
get involved?
very little. We've done sort of a super soft launch. wolfofwallstreet.io and jump on the mailing list. That's the best place. We did a drop to our mailing list in the last couple of weeks and very quickly sold out. Well, sold out. It was a free claim drop, just a little teaser. And there were 1,000 NFTs that sold out in kind of very quick amount of time. So wolfofwallstreet.io on the mailing list, and that's where you'll really get the best insight.
Awesome. So how does this work for enterprises again? Could you give us an example other than the block space of enterprises coming to Aventus and asking Aventus for what? For a service, a product, a solution?
Yeah, so let me take Heathrow Airport as an example.
Mhm.
So Heathrow Airport obviously has a lot of cargo. And in the world of cargo, I mean, people have probably experienced this firsthand in the audience, right? Someone's lost your bag or whatever it is. And the reason that that problem exists is 5 to 10% of ULDs, uniform load devices, which are the cargo pods that fit in the aircraft. At any point in time, 5 to 10% of those are misplaced or missing. If they're gone for long enough, you consider it lost. So everybody knows there's a problem there. We thought that blockchain would be a good solution to that problem. We pitched it to the airline, and now in combination with a big telecommunications partner who deals with the IoT devices, we are able to bring that 5 to 10% down massively. So this product is live. It's been in the perishables department in Heathrow for a while, and now we're expanding beyond kind of Heathrow into various other countries. And we deliver the product. So we deliver the blockchain that helps unify the device management, which is these IoT devices. And these things sit on the cargo pods. And they basically, when you land, it hits the cell phone network and says, I'm here. This is the load that I have. This is where I need to go, whatever, right? So it's a much more efficient way of tracking cargo.
So it's basically a track and trace code for your cargo.
Exactly.
That would be cool. Awesome. Let's do Beatport. I see something about Beatport.
Yes.
Could you tell us about your partnership with Beatport? So I'm also getting live questions.
Yeah, no worries. Beatport is probably the biggest player in electronic music, right? EDM is their kind of speciality. So they've got over 100,000 different labels where loads of artists are signed. They've got 50 million users. So Beatport is a really exciting example of the music industry starting to adopt this technology at scale. So Beatport was all about how it's a digital fan club model. Ultimately, it's about bringing the fan closer to the artist and driving that engagement together. So we are giving them a white label marketplace with a bunch of features required for the music industry to enable that. And it's deployed on the Aventus network, which is an instantiation of our block space product, that Polkadot parachain network I was talking about. So the NFTs will exist on the Aventus network. The white label marketplace will kind of breathe the utility into them. I can't say too much because they don't want to release it until we'll actually be speaking on stage on the 7th of June at Primavera Music Festival. And that's where we'll kind of publicly speak about what we're doing.
And these are really two different worlds, right? So on one hand, you guys are doing loyalty programs with the Wolf of Wall Street. On the other hand, you guys are helping an airport. Like, why and how? How are you managing everything?
Yeah, so we've invested over $30 million into our technology IP, right? Mm-hmm. So it's very flexible, it's very versatile, and it's composable. You can use different bits or you can leave different parts of it. So because it's infrastructure and general purpose, from our perspective, a ULD is just an NFT. It's just a cargo pod with data associated with it that's moving around. So from our systems perspective, all of these deals are basically the same deal. The thing that changes is the user interface and the data that you're actually writing. That's where things differ, but otherwise it's all the same to us.
Awesome. So let's talk about Energy Web. So what is Aventus doing with Energy Web? Like, obviously everyone has seen our light paper. If you haven't seen it, Sam is in our channel, or go to our social channels and we will share it there again. But Aventus is kind of a special deal, right? It's our technology partner. So what are you guys building? What are you guys doing? And what are the latest development? What can you tell us?
For sure. So EWX, which is the kind of new Energy Web chain, right, is going to essentially be an instantiation of our block space offering. So very similar to the Aventus network, we will deploy the EWX network with all of the validators. It'll all be Aventus tech based on substrate technology now, so from the Polkadot ecosystem, rather than the former kind of Ethereum-based ecosystem. And the existing Energy Web chain will remain, and we're creating decentralized bridging technology to create a seamless movement of any of the NFTs or fungible tokens that sit on either of the networks between each other. So then on the new network, EWX itself, that's where the kind of worker nodes and the worker processes will be deployed using what's called pallets. Pallets are like the smart contracts of the Polkadot ecosystem. So hopefully it'll be a bit more performant. It'll be an upgraded version in technology, And essentially the future of all energy web traffic will be powered by Aventus technology.
Awesome. And then so one question, I have a lot of questions about lowering, lifting, but let's start with the basics. So Aventus is using a mechanism or a bridge. How can we call this?
Yeah, we call it lifting and lowering, but technically speaking, it's decentralized bridging. So achieving decentralized consensus in the EWX chain of the state of the EWC chain and vice versa.
Okay, and you guys already have this on the Aventus network, right?
Correct. This has been in production for 2 years for us. Aventus network started as a layer 2 on Ethereum. So that's where we kind of pioneered the technology.
And could you briefly explain how that works from a user perspective? So let's say I have a bunch of tokens. How do I bridge or lower or lift? And what is it exactly?
So the process of going from EWC to EWX will be called lifting, because it's the old layer 2 language, right? You're lifting to the layer 2. And even though this technically isn't a layer 2, that's the concept. So you lift from EWC to EWX, and you lower from EWX to EWC. So you consider EWX kind of a layer on top of EWC. What essentially happens is smart contracts are deployed on EWC, which manage the logic the same way we manage the logic on Ethereum today for the Aventus network around this process. You will be able to send your tokens to that smart contract, which will then perform the lifting operation automatically for you, and the balance will appear in your EWX wallet. And so lower is just the reverse of that process.
One question here, are we minting new tokens?
So this is not minting, this is bridging. So consider it more of a wrapping.
Okay. Okay, and what are the benefits?
So this means that backwards compatibility is maintained, essentially. The EWC network, the token, all of the exchange integrations, nothing has to change, but all of the new functionality can be realized by clients in the EWX network.
Awesome. So yeah, you guys joined. Why? Why were you guys in the first case excited to do this to help us with the technology? What's the reason?
Well, it's an amazing use case, right? Both the green proofs and the kind of grid load distribution in the world of EVs joining the grid. I mean, we love the vision of decarbonizing the grid. We love that there's a true use case and enterprises are really adopting this, right? If you look at the kind of names that are validators, if you look at some of the interesting work that's starting to happen across the globe, it's just really exciting to see enterprise adoption on multi-year contracts, not proof of concepts. So that's why when we found out about you guys early on, we've always been watching, and it's great to see that we can actually work together and help add some value.
So is it safe to say that Aventus is not only helping enterprises, but also other Web3 projects?
That's correct. I guess we are enabling Web3 projects to hit the enterprise market as well.
Cool. So then the next question, obviously, I knew that this question was coming. Are there any other Web3 questions in the projects in the pipeline that you guys might be helping?
So yes, there's nobody that I can announce formally here. There are other Web3 projects that we will be enabling. I mean, look, we've got smaller people like Fruit Lab, even the video game platform, who we enable to kind of deliver their AAA video game product, right? So yes, there are none that I can talk about, but our focus is much more on helping deliver use cases rather than being general purpose and generic.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And just to come back on the bridge, on lowering and lifting, it's already live on the Aventus network. Is it safe? Because I just got a question, like what precautions did you guys take to make the bridge safe?
Yeah, so I mean, this gets into in-depth technical knowledge where the community might be able to out-depth me. We'll need my CTO to answer some of these questions, but there are concerns around bridging. Of course, when we see the majority of hacks that happen in the blockchain ecosystem, right, it's because of bridge vulnerabilities in the code. So how do you try and address these? Most of the time, you will find that these happen through sloppy procedures. So, for example, our Chief Product and Technology Officer, Andre, right? He formerly worked at Oracle, taking Oracle onto the cloud. He then built R3 Corda Enterprise, which is the kind of banking blockchain. And then he decided he wanted to be in the world of startups. So when he first joined us and he saw what we were doing, he had a bit of a laugh and was like, guys, come on, let's join the real world of enterprise, right? And I know the team, this was 3 years ago, said it felt like stepping up from one of the lower divisions into the Premier League, for those who are familiar with soccer, into the top division, right? And it's following the procedures, right? It's the right procedures. It's the same procedures as the kind of ISO standards, making sure that we do quarterly technical audits, that we do the penetration testing, that we do all of the kind of buttoned up software processes to try and minimize the risk. You can never guarantee that software doesn't have code, but by following the right procedures, you can minimize the attack surface and hopefully not fall in the same areas that others have.
Yeah, and Franco has this question. Franco, for you, I'm pretty sure that we will follow up with our CTO and Aventus CTO to talk about this in detail. So yeah, Ellen, what are you guys doing in the coming months? What can you tell the community about this?
So Aventus is now focused. We spoke about Wolf, we spoke about Beatport. So in the loyalty world, that's really exciting. But probably the hottest topic is there's potentially a new pharmaceutical company joining our supply chain provenance use case, and the cargo use case is expanding further anyway. So we've got a new country. We're starting to chat to the people who make all the decisions, and it looks like we'll be rolling out a use case in Italy as well. So really pressing forward on that front. And then otherwise, we have two telco companies that we have started working with. We can't announce their names yet, but using these kind of aggregators, companies who have many enterprise clients, and enabling them to upsell their enterprise clients on use cases, that's the current focus at Aventus. That's how we scale our enterprise strategy.
Cool. I'm just waiting for some questions from the community. Worker notes, we will have a separate session on worker note, guys. Any partnerships? We always get those questions. So, Ellen, any partnerships you can reveal?
I wish.
Guys, seriously?
No, there is nothing right now. I've teased at a good few things here.
Exactly.
And yeah, I mean, just keep an eye on my Twitter and stuff. Whenever a deal is signed, I'll try and give like an indicative emoji, and people will start catching on.
Awesome. Yeah, so I think this is it. Thank you very much for joining, Ellen. Can we invite you guys in a couple months when Energy Web X is close to ready to talk about technical details? Are you guys open to that?
Happy to do it. I might have to do a bit of a briefing with Andre before, or maybe we get him to join.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day, and have a good weekend, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, Daniel. Thanks, everyone.